Mr. A. Manimozhi, Principal District and Sessions Judge Trichy, Major Dr. Periyasamy from the Indian Army, Tirumati Rajeshwari, President WAAT Trichy, Jayanti Rani, Secretary, the members of the WAAT Trichy, the President and Secretary of the Trichy Criminal Law Bar, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. I'm sorry I have come out of turn. I'm supposed to have addressed you all in the end, but because I have a flight to catch, I have been fast forwarded to give my address in the beginning. It is indeed a pleasure and a pride to be in your midst this evening, all the lovely women. A pleasure as I see so many women lawyers, and a pride to note that there is a law association for women in the district doing such commendable work, not only for the fraternity, but also picking and choosing women who come from ordinary walks of life, but who have achieved things that we in the profession also would not achieve. A special thanks to the two mothers who have brought up those two children. I'm reminded of the words of Ruth Ginsburg, who was the Associate Justice of the Honorable Supreme Court of the United States for 27 years from 1993 to 2020, when I talk about this association. And I quote, "Whatever you choose to do, leave tracks. That means don't do it just for yourself. You will want to leave the world a little better for having lived," unquote. Many of you, irrespective of your gender, may be the first generation lawyers, having no godfather in the profession. And my talk today is mainly addressed to you, and I talk from the experience that I have got. I am also a first generation lawyer who started with the disadvantage of being a woman. However, I never thought that being a woman is a disadvantage, but certain aberrations in between forced me to rethink this thought. When I joined the profession, there was hardly many women in the profession, and we could count them on the fingers of our two hands. But let me tell you, some of them were exceptional, and what struck me was their poise and their demeanor when addressing the court or interacting outside the court. They were women who were taken seriously not only by the bench, but also by their colleagues at the bar. After I enrolled, I was very keen on joining an office which had a lot of work, because I wanted to generally learn the nuances of the work. For me, though, yes, money was required, but I thought I would put that as my second priority, and that I have to learn the work. Now, one office, I was excited, told me that I could join the office and I could come the next day in the morning. So the next day I was all ready and to join the office, and I go into the office. The senior there tells me, "I'm sorry, we cannot take you in because we have a policy of not taking women." And mind you, his daughter, who is also an advocate, is a woman. That was the first time I was shocked to learn that being a woman had some kind of a disadvantage. But let me tell you, this did not let me down. I did not in any manner let this aberration reduce the enthusiasm that I had for being a lawyer. My confidence in myself was very strong. I was confident that I'll make a mark in this profession. And I had to make a mark in this profession because my father gave me 3 years to make a mark. Otherwise, he said, within 3 years, if I didn't make a mark, I had to come back and stay at home. So therefore, it was a passion to do something to prove myself. Thereafter, I was lucky to join the office, as she had said earlier, M.S. Krishnan, S. Parsati and R. Shekhar, which firm was later called Sarvabhauman Associates. After that, there was no looking back. And I can proudly say that much before I was elevated to the bar, to the bench, I had become a partner in that firm, in which I had joined as a junior. Now, this transition was not easy. This is where I'm coming. I'm not here to blow my trumpet, but I'm saying that this transition was just not easy. I earned the confidence of my seniors by working hard, and therefore I thought I could share with you the lessons that I had learned in my journey as a lawyer. The first and foremost facet that every lawyer, especially the juniors, have to learn is you must be ready to learn. And this you can achieve only if you join an office, work there for at least a minimum of, I would say, 5 years. And when I say work, I really mean work. Not just walking into your office at 9:30 and getting out at 5 o'clock doing nothing. That is not the work that I contemplate you do. What I really mean is you should be there in the office early in the morning. You must come to your office, read the briefs for that day. You must be ready and equipped for facing the court, the questions that the court is going to pose to you. Evenings, you must spend your time discussing the case with your clients. And when you're juniors, you must be present when your seniors are having these client discussions. Because it is from discussing with your clients that you know what the case is, how the case has to be handled, how do you prepare the pleadings. All this starts only from discussing the case with your clients. When you discuss with your clients, you start putting questions to them, you start drawing more information from your clients. These are all part of the function that an advocate has to definitely learn. The next is your dedication and your contribution to the profession. Let me tell you, if an advocate is in the habit of coming every day at 8 o'clock in the morning, at some point in time, clients will start taking note of it and they'll slowly start deviating towards you because a sense of confidence comes into a client saying, that is a confidence that you have to develop. And another facet which most juniors today don't like to learn is, I do not know about the district bar here, but at least from the High Court, is they do not want to do the clerical work. Meaning going to the registry, filing, paying BATA, all these are very, very important. It's a very important area. And let me tell you, if you do not know the registry work, you will be taken advantage of. And no law school teaches you this clerical work. It is something that you have to learn by practice. It is something that juniors have to learn. Go with your advocate clerk, learn the work from them. It will not only help you as a lawyer, but let me tell you, many of you here are judicial aspirants for becoming judicial officers. It would stand you in good stead when you become a judicial officer, because as a judicial officer, you can also not be taken for a ride by your staff. Yes, another thing is your presence before the court. Very, very important. This I tell now that I'm on this side of the bench. Juniors have to first remember, it is that person who's sitting on this side of the bench who holds the green pen, who has the ultimate decision-making power. Now, while you address the court, please ensure you watch the demeanor of the court. When you are arguing, and if your point is not taken well by the court, உடனே மாற்றணும். அந்த பாயிண்ட்லேருந்து அடுத்த பாயிண்ட்டுக்கு போகணும். அடுத்த பாயிண்ட்டுக்கு போயிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் you can slowly come back to the first point, couch it in a different fashion and put it. Don't hammer your point into the judicial officer. Remember, you are there to make submissions and not to enter into an argument with the court. Unfortunately, today I find that many juniors argue with the court. They don't make submissions. And you have to remember one thing. You are standing there to redress the grievance of a client, a litigant. You are not there to prove that you are right. Your body language, that's another thing as a judge we notice, and even as a lawyer, I used to notice the body language of the judge. The body language is very important. Your Then another thing which I do not know, most youngsters may not like me addressing this point, but I feel this is a very, very important point that has to be addressed. I'm taking this forum to make this address. Your physical appearance, how you dress, how you groom yourself is very important, because your appearance sends across a message not only to the court, but to your client and also the public who are there in the court, both physically as well as virtually. They keep watching you. It is that appearance that will show them, that will indicate that you are a dedicated professional. Nowadays, there's this habit of leaving your hair loose. You don't groom your hair properly. And the haircuts of most youngsters are, they adopt the movie star's haircut. They wear jeans. In fact, எனக்கு பயம் எங்கேயாவது கழண்டு கீழே விழுந்துற போகிறதோன்னு ஒரு பயம். Most of them don't tuck their shirts in, they just walk in casually, wearing dirty collar bands. All this, let me tell you, gives you a minus point in the mind of the court as well as the clients and the public that are watching you. It gives you a very poor impression. Therefore, please ensure that you maintain the dress code that the Bar Council has prescribed. Only then will you, see, that is the first step. See, ஆள் பாடி ஆடை பாடின்னு சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல, that is very, very important. And whenever juniors come before the court to ask for an adjournment, please read the brief. See, sometimes we find juniors enter the court, they don't even know what stage the case is. They're absolutely clueless, and you give out a very casual approach, a very indifferent approach when you appear before the court. What happens? It leaves an impression in the mind of the court that this person knows nothing. And many a time we do find, I'm sure most of you will admit, you're either chatting with your friends or you're looking into your mobile phones. Please, when you sit in the court, ensure you watch how your seniors address the court, how the court reacts to arguments. Only when you watch a judge, you watch the way they conduct a court, you will be able to present your court better. I find that even now there are people who are chatting amongst themselves, and I'm just talking. See, and an advice which I would like to give to my lady friends here is, please do not expect any special favor on account of your gender. You work as hard as the men in your office and prove to them that you're capable, if not more capable than them. And here I have to add a small thing. Jayanti was mourning and saying that women are treated very badly, and we are not given the right recognition that we require. I beg to differ here. Today, if you look at the judiciary, the law judiciary, 80% is filled by women. Shortly, we will overtake the men. In fact, this reminds me of an episode which took place in the High Court where my brother judges were there. We had opened the gender sensitization room. And after a tea and all that, we had got the brother judges to sit in a place, and I told, we'll take a photo. So it was only they who were seated there. So then they said, "Yen neenga yarum join pannala." I said, "Illa, neenga ukkarunga, naalik innoru konja varsham kalichu naanga solluvom, inga aamblaingalum vela pannanaangandradha naanga solluvom." So that is the rate at which we women are progressing. So therefore, all is not bad. Anyhow, I would like to conclude with Ruth Ginsburg quote, because I started with her. And I quote, "Never underestimate the power of a girl with a book," unquote. Thank you.